The key of our practice is mindfulness or awareness.
我哋收集嘅關鍵咧就係正念。
Sati or mindfulness in Pali means running after.
呢個巴利文嘅 sati 嘅意思就係跟隨嘅意思。
For example, a person is shooting an arrow.
譬如一個人佢去射箭嘅時候啦。
The arrow running from the archer, and then sati is mean the mind that run after and finally catch the arrow.
Sorry, Ajahn, you mean the arrow? The mind is following the arrow.
The arrow. Following the arrow, and then catch the arrow.
咁師傅就講呢個比喻就譬如好似一個箭射咗出去啦，嗰個念就係跟住啲箭，然後最後就會能夠捉到呢支箭。
Sati recognize the arrow. The arrow can be our unwholesome thought, can be any defilements.
呢個念啦，或者正念，佢就係會捉到呢個箭。呢個所謂嘅箭就係其實我哋嘅煩惱。
Sati hold the arrow, and then wisdom or panya. The panya will clean up what sati catch.
咁當喺呢個正念捉到呢個煩惱嘅箭之後咧，咁就由呢個智慧咧去做呢個事後工作，佢就會清理呢個現場。
So since the ancient time in Thailand, we use this Pali as a Thai word. We use it together when we talk to the children. We said, "May you have sati panya." It means have mindfulness and have wisdom.
咁所以喺古代嘅泰國咧，佢哋已經係用呢個 sati 呢個字咧，係即係已經融入咗佢哋嘅語言。咁佢哋甚至可能會講話即係願你有念同埋慧啦。嗰個巴利文嘅個字就係sati panya 啦。咁佢哋會咁樣去祝福人。
Sati or mindfulness is the entrance and the end of our practice.
呢個念或者正念啦，就係收集嘅入口，亦都係終點。
So the Buddha advised us to practice this four foundation of mindfulness, which is the body, Vedanas or mental feelings or physical sensations, the mind and the Dhamma.
佛陀咧就教導人咧要去多收集呢個四念處啦。咁所謂四念處就係四種嘅正念嘅根本啦。咁就呢四種就係身體啦、感受啦，無論係呢個係肉體感受定抑或係心理上嘅感受又好啦。咁第三個就係呢個心啦，或者係意啦。而第四個就係法。
Be mindful on the body. We can see the truth as Queen Kema witness.
如果我哋係即係嗰個注意力係放喺身體觀察身體嘅時候咧，咁我哋都可以做到譬如頭先講個例子，即係嗰個 Queen Kema 嗰個皇后咁樣啦，佢能夠見到呢個身體嘅實相。
Vedana of feeling is also very important.
去注意感受咧，亦都係非常之重要嘅。
Vedana we spend whole life running for good feeling.
我哋好多人啦，會窮一生嘅時間咧，去追逐呢啲快樂嘅感受。
It's just a feeling. Feelings rise and fall, and you cannot catch it. It's just a feeling. It's intangible. But we spend our whole life to buy good feeling for ourselves. Watching movie, listening to good music, investment in the something good, good car, good taste of food or whatever to serve this feeling.
咁其實感受只不過係感受嚟嘅啫，佢會生起，亦都會滅去，亦都唔係一啲可以捉得到嘅嘢。咁但係我哋好多人咧就會花好多時間去追逐一啲愉悅嘅感受，譬如去睇一啲好睇嘅戲啦，聽一啲好聽嘅音樂啦，去投資可能係一啲靚車咁樣啦，或者係好食嘅嘢咁樣啦，種種嘅愉悅嘅感受，我哋會去追隨。
Now, China bought all durian from Thailand because of good feeling, good taste.
咁而家嘅中國啦，佢哋就買晒呢啲泰國嘅榴蓮啦。咁純粹就係因為榴蓮係好食，帶來一個愉悅嘅感受。
See, important thing. So the Buddha asks us to be mindful on the feeling. It's just a feeling. Do not cling to it. Do not attach to it. But without mindfulness, we don't know. We just follow it.
佛陀就叫我哋要要生起正念啦，要維持正念，去注意呢啲咁嘅感受。要睇到感受只係感受，佢哋並唔係一個長久嘅嘢。
So the body drive people crazy around the world, beautifying body, keep the body strong, good looking. The feeling drive human beings in the world to run after it, life after life.
咁呢啲感受咧係令人發狂嘅，好多人就係花好多時間去追逐一啲可能身體上嘅各種嘅一啲愉悅嘅感受啦，令到身體有一啲好嘅感受出現啦，或者係總之就係花好多時間喺呢一啲唔係即係長久嘅感受上面。
And then be mindful with our mind.
咁下一環咧就係身受心法嘅心啦，即係頭先講嘅一直講嘅心意啦。咁佛陀亦都係叫我哋要去即係注意呢一樣嘢嘅。
Sometimes happy, sometimes sad. Oh, a lot of things. Fear. This is all the phenomena of the mind that we should be aware. It's come, it's rise and fall, rise and fall. Cannot catch it, cannot hold it.
我哋有好多時候會快樂啦，會悲傷啦。咁但係呢啲都只不過係心上面嘅現象嚟嘅啫，佢亦都係唔係長久嘅。
And be mindful with the Dhamma that rise in the mind.
都要覺察到咧，喺呢個意識層次啦，佢會生起種種嘅所謂嘅法，即係一啲現象啦。
We won't go into detail.
咁而喺度就師父就唔講太深入啦。
Today we practice ourselves to feel the body, be aware of the body.
我哋今日咧嘅修習重點就係放喺身體上面，我哋要覺知到身體。
Not forcing ourselves to know the body all the time, just be aware of the body.
我哋並唔係去強迫自己去感知到身體，每時每刻都要係知道身體，但係我哋只不過係好輕鬆咁知道啫。
And when we are aware of the body, then the mind run away to think and produce certain quality of the mind. Then we start to observe the mind.
而當我哋嘅注意力喺身體嘅時候咧，咁身體生起種種嘅狀況，咁可能就會有唔同嘅念頭嘅出現啦。咁呢個時候咧，我哋就應該將嗰個注意力放喺呢個心意上面，即係其實就係心念住。
The purpose of the practice of the four foundations of mindfulness has twofold.
呢個即係四念住嘅收集咧嘅目的其實係有兩個層次嘅。
Of course, the first thing is to develop awareness of the body and the mind at the beginning.
一開始嘅層次咧，我哋係要令到我哋覺知到呢個身體同埋心意，呢個係開始嘅情況。
And finally, for the development of wisdom.
而最後咧，即係第二個層次咧，其實係要發展智慧嘅。
The Buddha gave importance to the four foundation of mindfulness, as he stated.
佛陀係對於呢個四念住咧係俾咗好多嘅強調落去嘅。
This is the only way for the purification of beings.
佛陀就講到呢一個係唯一嘅道路，係唯一能夠淨化眾生嘅道路。
For the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation.
係能夠令到人可以超越呢個憂愁同埋悲傷。
For the destruction of suffering and grief.
令到人可以摧毀痛苦啦，同埋各種嘅即係一啲嘅苦惱啦。
For reaching the right path.
令到人可以到達一個正確嘅道路。
And for the attainment of nibbana.
亦都係為咗得到呢個涅槃。
Namely, the four foundations of mindfulness.
呢個就係所謂嘅四念住啦。
My interest is this one, for reaching the right path. So the right path must contain mindfulness. Without mindfulness, it's not right path.
師父嘅着眼點就係在於呢個正確嘅道路啦。咁所以呢個正確道路咧就必須會包含咗正念嘅。如果冇正念嘅話咧，係去唔到呢一個道路度嘅。
The benefit of mindfulness.
正念嘅種種益處。
When we have mindfulness, it brings about simple happiness and morality.
當有正念嘅時候咧，其實會帶嚟一啲好簡單嘅快樂，同埋一啲德行上嘅圓滿。
When we are aware of our anger that rise, anger disappear, a lot of happiness already.
當我哋覺察到呢個憤怒嘅存在，咁憤怒就會消失。咁其實呢一樣嘢已經本身係好開心嘅。
When we are aware of our thought, then we don't follow our thought. We keep the precept pure. So that is our good morality.
當我哋係覺察到呢個念頭嘅時候咧，我哋唔跟隨呢個念頭。咁亦都係因為唔跟隨念頭咧，所以我哋嘅戒咧可以持得比較好。
And it's lead to the right concentration and neutral observing mind.
亦都係會帶嚟正確嘅精定啦，同埋一個中立嘅觀察嘅心。
Right concentration or samadhi, the right type of samadhi, must come along with mindfulness always.
呢個正定啦，即係亦都可以講係正確嘅禪定啦。 佢係必須有伴隨住呢個正念嘅。
And finally, wisdom rise and defilements are uprooted, leading to the end of suffering.
而去到最後咧，係會帶嚟智慧嘅生起，同埋呢啲煩惱咧係被根除咗啦。咁而最後咧就係所有痛苦嘅知識。
Therefore, mindfulness is necessary from the beginning to the end of the noble path.
所以正念咧係對於呢個八正道嚟講咧，由開始到結尾咧都係咁重要。
In the Noble Eightfold Path, you can see the right mindfulness is here.
我哋喺呢個八正道裏面會見到正念嘅存在啦。
Now, the full foundation of mindfulness. What does this mean? For example, the body.
咁師父就講下呢個即係四念處究竟佢係嘅意義係乜嘢咧？咁就譬如係呢個身體啦。
If you read the text, you may be confused. The text of the full foundation of mindfulness saying that, Bhikkhu, you know the body in the body. What is it, body in body?
咁如果大家去睇經典，即係譬如呢個大念處經咁樣啦，咁可能大家會感到好困惑嘅，因為佛陀嘅經典裏面就講話叫比丘咧就要去觀察呢個身體裏面嘅身體，咁究竟係咩意思咧？
That is the wording of the ancient terms.
呢啲
The body in body doesn't mean to look inside the body.
呢啲其實係古代巴利文嘅一啲慣用語嘅用法嚟嘅。咁其實唔係講緊一個裡面嘅身體咁樣嘅意思。
When the Buddha asked the monk to be aware the body in the body is mean, be aware the body, not as I, not as Ajahn Ek, not as certain name, not as Freddy, not as anyone else, but body as body.
咁佛陀嘅意思咧，就係話觀察呢個身體嘅時候咧，就唔係觀佢為一個我，亦都唔係觀佢為師父，亦都唔係觀佢為 Freddy， 總之係只係身體啫，就唔好俾一個咁樣嘅身份俾佢。
Feeling as feeling, not my feeling.
同樣咧，對於感受亦都係啦，感受就只不過係如實咁知道呢個感受，就唔好加嘢落去。
Yeah. So that's why today I ask you, either moving or observing the breathing body, to see the whole body as something else, not as I am breathing in and out, not as I as mind, and not sinking the mind into the breath, but feel loosely around the body, so that we can feel the body as the body, the breathing body as the body.
咁所以師父今日教禪修嘅時候咧，就係叫大家去觀察一樣嘢啦，一嚿嘢喺度呼吸緊，而呢嚿嘢咧就唔係我，亦都唔係我的。咁佢亦都係師父叫大家唔好去將嗰個注意力執 浸沉咗入去呢個呼吸裏面，而係將嗰個覺察咧係好鬆咁樣圍繞住呢個身體咁樣去覺察。
And feeling as feeling, not as I, as mind.
對於感受亦都係啦，即係如實咁知道感受就係感受，而唔係我嘅感受或者係感受就係我咁樣。
Luang Por Cham is one of master teacher who practiced very well. He saw the feeling as feeling, not as I, as mine.
咁上中呢一位就係龍波讚念啦。咁佢就係收集得好好，佢淨係見到感受就係感受，而唔係我或者係我嘅感受。
About 7 or 8 years ago, Luang Por Cham has a problem with his tooth.
大約7或者8年前啦，呢位龍波讚念咧，佢就喺佢嘅牙度咧有一啲問題。
One of his teeth was broken inside, and you can see from the X-ray beam, the dark area near the broken tooth should be white, but it's become dark because of the inflammation is filled up with ooze.
咁大家喺呢個X 光圖裏面見到啦，呢啲黑色地方咧就係嗰隻牙斷咗嘅地方。咁其實應該係白色嘅，咁黑色就係代表佢斷咗啦。咁而因為斷咗咧，所以裡面係充滿住呢啲流膿咁樣，係有啲膿嘅水喺裏面。
It was very painful for almost 6 months. He kept himself quiet.
咁係非常之痛嘅，對於任何人嚟講啦，而龍坡讚念師傅咧，佢就係咁樣一路維持咗6個月。
At that time, I still living with him. We saw him only massage his face sometimes, and otherwise we can't see no sign of pain. He happy like usual, eating, talking, eating less, but talking and preaching and helping people like nothing happened.
但係當嗰6個月嘅時候咧，周圍嘅人咧都見唔到龍坡讚念師傅咧有一啲任何嘅痛苦嘅表現出嚟啦。咁佢亦都係如常咁樣説話啦，如常咁樣開示啦，亦都係如常咁樣去幫助其他人啦。即係嗰個表面上面係見唔到佢有任何嘅痛楚咁樣。
And finally, we observed that one of his this part of his cheek is swollen, is swell.
咁最後終於有人就見到龍坡讚念師傅咧，佢嘅左邊嘅面咧係腫咗。
So we rushed him to see the dentist.
咁所以佢嘅身邊人咧就即刻帶佢去見牙醫。
In United States.
嗰陣時係喺美國嘅。
That time we had a retreat, a 10-day retreat in United States.
嗰陣時喺美國係有呢個10日嘅禪營。
So after the X-ray, the dentist just shouted loud. It must be very painful for a long time. Don't you feel pain at all?
咁呢個牙醫見到呢個 X 光圖之後啦，佢係驚叫啦，話呢個梗係非常之咁痛啦。
When the dentist asked him, he said, "Oh yes, it's painful."
咁當呢個牙醫問龍坡讚念長老嘅時候咧，咁師傅咧佢亦都係回答係啊，係真係好痛嘅。
The dentist asked, How much pain?
咁阿姨就問究竟咁係幾痛咧？
Luang Por said, "Oh, it's like a thousand needle on inside and around my head. I have a pain on the head and everywhere, and sometimes I can't sleep. I just could not sleep at night. I just get up and then massage."
Ajahn, you said massage, like massaging the.
Yeah, massage his head because it's pain. Not only here, but all the whole scalp is painful.
咁頭先就呢位阿姨就問師傅龍波贊聯師傅究竟有幾痛咧？龍波贊聯師傅就話就好似有千口針拮喺佢嘅頭咁樣，即係裏裏外外都有針咁痛，係令到佢瞓唔到覺添嘅，所以佢就之前嘅即係一段時間同埋嗰段時間都係一路咁樣按摩自己嘅頭。
So the dentist say we can't wait. This is serious. The information can go to the brain. So we have to do minor surgery now. Luang Por say, okay, okay.
咁呢位阿姨咧就話呢個情況係好嚴重嘅，佢哋唔可以再等啦，要即刻做呢個手術。
So they remove the tooth and then clean up.
咁然後咧佢哋就隻阿姨就攞咗呢隻牙出嚟啦，然後就清理咗佢啦。
But Luang Por was happy from the beginning to the end.
但係龍波贊聯師傅咧，佢就係由開始到結尾都係好開心咁樣嘅。
See, he never complained, never asked for help, nothing. And we don't even know until we saw the red swelling cheek.
咁龍波贊聯師傅咧係從來都冇去投訴過啦，亦都係冇尋求任何嘅幫助，直至佢身邊嘅人見到佢塊面腫咗，咁啲人先知道嘅。
So finally we asked Luang Por, why don't you tell us?
咁即係身邊嘅人就問龍波贊聯師傅就點解你唔講俾我哋聽啊
？Luang Por said, "Oh, I pain only one person, but if I tell you, many people pain, cannot travel, cannot give Dhamma Talk, cannot do anything. So I better keep pain. Only one person pain, and I cannot find pain. Pain is not me."
咁龍波贊聯師傅咧就答咧佢痛就只不過係一個人嘅痛，但係如果話俾人聽咧，就好多人都痛，因為咧即係周圍嘅人就會唔俾佢去第度啦，亦都係即係唔準佢繼續做好多教學活動啦，咁就會好多人都會痛啦。咁而且佢即係佢認為痛就係痛，即係個痛又唔係我，咁所以都冇乜所謂啫。
See, this is the purpose of the practice of the mindfulness. We see but not be, seeing not being.
咁呢個就係正念修習嘅重點所在。我哋係見到，但係我哋唔係嗰一樣嘢。
We see the body but not being. We see the feeling but not being. We see the mind, anger mind, happy mind, whatever, not being it. Then we don't hold on it, and no more further mental fabrication.
我哋見到呢個身體嘅時候咧，我哋見到佢唔係我，見到呢啲感受嘅時候咧，佢亦都唔係我。咁因為亦都冇呢個我嘅存在咧，我哋如果咁樣睇嘅話咧，就唔會有更加多嘅之後嘅種種嘅造作啦。
Seeing and not being is comprised of right concentration, right mindfulness, right effort.
係要做到呢一種咁嘅狀態啦，即係所謂見到，但係唔去將佢當成我嘅呢個狀態咧，係要需要正定啦、正念啦，同埋正精進嘅。
Okay, I think I will end my talk now and let Q&A. Is that okay?
Yes, please，阿張。咁師傅而家會唔再開始啦，咁就大家可以問問題。
So thank you very much, Ajahn, for the wonderful Dhamma talking. So let me ask the friends who are participating in this Zoom meeting. So if you have any questions, please raise your hands and ask your questions yourself. 咁我哋好多謝阿贊啦，啱啱俾咗我哋今日咁精彩嘅教導。咁而家係答問嘅環節啦。咁我邀請咧，而家係參加咗我哋 Zoom 呢個meeting 嘅同修咧，如果有問題嘅話，可以舉手，咁就親自去問呢個問題。如果你怕醜唔想親自問嘅話，你都可以將你個問題咧寫喺嗰個 chat box 嗰度寫出嚟。咁我哋就會排隊咁樣輪住去幫你哋讀出嚟嘅。但係如果你係自己親自去問嘅話咧，咁而家可以舉手去問問題啦。So anyone? Okay, we got one hand here. So
yes,
please.
Good evening. Yes, good evening. Good evening, Ajahn. Jasmine here. I have one question. May I know how to differentiate to know and to aware? How to differentiate to know and to aware? Can you give us an example for us to understand better? To differentiate to know and to aware. Thank you.
Ajahn, let me translate it.
Yes, yes.
咁同修就問到啦，究竟點樣去分別呢個知道同埋覺察咧？咁請師父可唔可以俾一啲例子出嚟
？The wording is not much important. Sometimes we use it interchangeably, knowing and being aware. In a real practice, both are good.
咁呢個實際上嘅字眼並唔係真係咁重要嘅啫，即係呢個知道同埋覺察其實有時係即係我哋言語上根本就係會運用嘅，咁但係其實兩樣嘢都係好嘅。
For example, yes.
Is it clear? Is it clear?
For example, I raise some example. For example, if we want to be aware or to know our body right now, to know the body, we use the mind. Use our mind. We just think about the body, our sitting posture, how our arms, our hands, our legs rise it, and what are their postures. If the body appear in our mind that moment because we have awareness or we know the body already.
師父舉咗一個例子咧，譬如我哋去覺察呢個身體啦，咁其實我哋其實都係用緊呢個即係作意或者用緊呢個心去做呢個咁嘅觀察嘅。咁可能你係嗰個注意力放喺腳啊，或者手啊，或者係姿勢上面啊。咁如果你係有呢個覺察，其實即係亦都可以話即係知道或者覺察咧，其實已經係存在，係一個好簡單嘅嘢嚟嘅。
We can use feeling as well. Feel the body or whatever. The wording can be anything, but as long as it appears in our feeling in our mind. Yeah. We already practice. You can see we seldomly this body appear in our mind. Mostly our mind are occupied with external object. When we walk outside, our eyes see external object. Our mind is always with external object. We are not aware of this body. The body doesn't appear in the mind.
而感受亦都一樣啦，即係同身體一樣，可以作為呢個覺知嘅對象啦。咁師父就非常之重視，即係要覺知或者覺察呢個身體啦。因為我哋平時多數嗰個心意都係去咗一啲外在嘅對象之上，但係就唔喺呢個身體上面。
Okay, so we get another hand here. So, please.
Hello. Yes, Ajahn. Hope you're well. Thank you for your Dhamma talk. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ajahn, I have this question in regards to the Upakalesa Sutta, where Buddha was telling Venerable Arunanda when he asked him about this, the fear of seeing the light. And sometimes when I meditate, I do see a little star or sometimes very bright light. So what should I do with it? I mean, do I go and follow the light, or should I go back to concentrate on my breathing? So could you give me some advice? Thank you.
呢位同修咧就問到喺其中一個經典啦，就係呢個 Upakalesa Sutta。我都唔係好知道個中文係咩，但係 Kalesa 就應該係煩惱啦。咁喺呢個經典上面咧，呢個阿羅律陀尊者咧就對於呢個光係嗰種係喺禪修時候見到嘅光咧，就有一啲恐懼。咁同修就問到佢都有喺禪修嘅時候見到一啲咁嘅星形咁樣嘅光啦，咁佢應該係去跟隨呢隻光啦，定抑或去褪翻後即係行開咁樣咧
？The mind that is sent outside is the cause of suffering. The light consider an external object.
咁呢個心往外送咧，本身就係一種苦嚟㗎啦。咁而當你見到光嘅時候咧，其實嗰個光都係一個即係一個外在嘅一個對象嚟嘅。
And the third line, the mind seeing the mind is the path.
咁喺呢個熒幕上面嘅第三行啦，嗰個當個意識見到個意識自己嘅時候咧，咁其實咧呢個就係所謂嘅道啦。
So whatever appear in our meditation practice, always come back to the mind. Fear, like, dislike, and then go back to meditation object.
咁即係個重點就係要翻去即係嗰個意識要見到自己啦。咁或者係呢度個熒幕上面就係話心見到心啦。咁呢個先至係重點所在，而唔係即係心往外送去咗嗰個對象嗰度。
Do not send the mind to the light.
唔好將呢個心意咧就送咗去呢一個光嗰度。
Okay, so is anyone has questions here? So I see no hands, so I'm going to read some questions which we are receiving. So the first question is, as mentioned, during the time of the Buddha, many people practiced vipassana and were not as strong in samatha. Were they able to attain sotapanna without being strong in samatha? or both are or both are required. Sorry. Yeah, that's the questions.
咁有同修咧就喺呢個對話框裏面就問到啦，即係師父之前提到咧喺佛陀嘅年代咧，好多人就去收集呢個觀，但係就唔係好去收集呢個止。咁究竟要成為一個初果入流嘅聖者，係唔係即係唔需要止嘅咧？係咪定抑或係止觀兩樣嘢都要需要嘅咧？
Most people in the Buddha time, they are not strong in samatha, but they not only attain sotapanna, they attain arahantships, perfect enlightenment.
咁喺佛陀年代啦，好多弟子都唔係好精於呢個止嘅收集啦，但係佢哋唔單止即係證唔到呢個入流初果，佢哋仲證唔到呢個阿羅漢四果。
So in your practice, please do not worry about samatha and vipassana that much.
咁所以師父建議同修喺收集嘅時候，唔需要去擔心即係止同觀呢啲嘅問題。
The real life practice is not like in the book. For example, the first 5 years I will practice samatha only, then I will practice vipassana later on. It's not like that.
真實嘅收集咧，就唔係好似書本睇到咁嘅，就唔好想像好似頭5年咧，我就收集呢個止，然後咧之後咧我就會收集觀，就唔好有呢啲咁樣嘅概念。
The real practice is to be mindful and keep on practicing every day and be mindful as much as possible. This is real practice.
嗰個真正嘅收集咧，就係只不過係每日都帶住正念咁樣生活，盡可能正面。
If you're sitting meditation, I mean formal sitting meditation, the mind is calm and peaceful. No matter we call it samatha or vipassana, it's good. It's keep power of the mind. Then after sitting, try to be mindful.
咁譬如喺呢個即係比較正式嘅坐禪之中啦，如果你係感受到平靜嘅話咧，呢個本身已經係好事嚟嘅，就唔使去即係無論呢個係止定抑或觀都好啦，都係對於心意係有益嘅。
If you are a type of person who can sit all night, no need to sleep and feel fresh, then continue, don't worry. But if you are not that type, don't push yourself.
如果你係嗰一種可以全晚都打坐唔瞓覺都，然後第二日都係仲係可以好精神爽利嘅話咧，咁就即管繼續做啦。但係如果你唔係呢一種人嘅話咧，就冇需要去強迫自己。
Okay.
We have someone, yes, we have someone who sleep 8 hours a day.
有啲人可能每日瞓8個鐘嘅覺啦。
And then work normally like other people.
亦都係好正常咁樣工作啦。
Watching television a little bit.
可能睇少少嘅電視啦。
After that, doing formal meditation practice.
咁然後睇完電視就做一啲正式嘅禪修啦。
But have determination to know her own mind as much as possible.
咁但係佢對於去了解佢嘅生命係非常之堅持。
Be aware of the body as much as possible.
佢係非常之去覺知到自己嗰個身體。
Then get the fruit. It's possible.
咁亦都係可以證到 亦都可以正面嘅。
So in real practice, whatever you do is good as long as you put effort in and then try to be mindful.
所以喺呢個真實嘅修習裏面咧，即係做乜都冇所謂嘅，只要佢係帶住一個正念，咁就係即係而且係努力咁修習啊，咁就係已經係好足夠嘅。
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer, Ajahn. And we get another questions here. Venerable, how to drop self-identity view? Now we know that the body and 5 aggregates are non-self, impermanent. Is it considered that we have dropped self-identity view, or there are more practices that we have to do in our daily life? If so, what are these? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
咁有同修咧就問到咧，究竟點樣可以放下呢個自身嘅見啦，即係其實就係佛教術語就係身見啦。咁我哋就已經知道咧呢個身體同埋呢個五蘊咧係無我，亦都係無常。咁就咁知道係咪已經係代表我哋已經放下咗呢個身見咧？咁定係有更加多嘅練習，我哋係需要每日咁樣喺日常生活去做嘅咧？咁如果有嘅話，咁呢啲咁嘅練習係啲咩練習咧
？Keep on observing the self-identity is very deep.
師父話咧就不斷咁持續去觀察啦。咁而呢個咁嘅身見咧，係一個好深層次嘅一個存在嚟嘅。
For example, every day, what would be a good example? Every day you go, suppose this world has no COVID and you go out to work normally. Every day in your workplace, when you walk into the office, many people greet you, hi, good morning, Chau San, whatever. One day, you walk into the office, nobody greet you. No one greet you. What happened?
咁師父舉咗個例子啦，就譬如假設而家我哋係冇呢個疫情咁嘅狀況啦，咁而你又係好正常咁樣去工作，咁你每一日行入呢個辦公室嘅時候咧，咁啲人就同你講話早晨啊咁樣，咁但係如果突然間有一日，即係明明日日都係咁，但係突然間有一日啲人就唔同你講早晨啦，咁你會諗啲乜嘢咧
？The self-identity inside start to work. You don't look at me. You don't greet me. Something happened inside already.
咁喺呢個情況咧，嗰個所謂嘅身見咧，就已經係喺度做緊佢嘅作用啦。咁好可能呢一刻，即係當冇人去同你講早晨嘅時候咧，嗰個念頭咧就會生起。嗰個內容咧就係點解你哋唔同我講早晨咧？點解好似咁冷漠冇人理我咁樣咧？咁呢個就係身見嘅作用啦。
We think we are a good person, and suddenly somebody criticizes us.
我哋可能以為我哋覺得我哋自己係好人啦，咁但係突然間有個人行埋嚟話我哋係有啲問題咁樣。
Then we feel loose. We have to fight back that I'm not that bad. I'm a good person. I have to show myself up. So self identity is working. It's still there.
咁可能我哋就覺得好似輸咗，好似俾人睇低咁樣啦。咁於是我哋就可能會反應就要即係反擊咁樣啦。咁亦都即係好似要俾人睇，我哋係證明俾人睇，我哋係好人咁樣啦。咁喺呢個時候咧，嗰個身見咧就已經係喺度作用緊。
A monk, when they're sitting, some monk, when sitting in front of people, they try to make themselves look good. Self-identity work. It's still there.
咁有一啲嘅僧人啦，佢哋喺即係居士嘅面前咧，佢哋就努力令到自己係好似好好咁樣啦，俾人一個好嘅印象咁樣啦。咁呢個亦都係身見嘅作用嚟嘅。
Taking selfie. I have to turn myself this way so I look better. This way, facing the telephone, not looking good. So I have to turn a little bit this way. This is deep inside is the self-identity.
咁譬如大家可能自拍嘅時候啦，會去調校個圖，令個頭就望呢邊望嗰邊。咁令到自己係上鏡係好睇嘅話咧，咁呢個亦都係身見喺度作用緊。
Self-identity work even in the dream.
呢個身見咧，甚至係喺夢中咧，都係作用緊嘅。
True or not? See, there are many phases and many levels that we can see by ourselves.
係身見係喺好多唔同嘅地方，同埋好多唔同嘅層次咧，都作用緊。而你可以去嘗試去觀察嘅。
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. If no hands, then I'm going to read another questions. Venerable, if we have sickness such as cancer or trauma, which makes the body very uncomfortable, how to overcome the uncomfortableness to practice? For instance, a trauma extending from lymph system inside nearby abdomen and affecting the stomach, which cause appetite dropping sometimes, so that the body becomes weak and nutritional insufficiency. What's the best techniques to overcome? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
好，同修就問師父啦，就係當我哋有疾病嘅時候，譬如可能係講緊癌症有腫瘤令到個身體係好唔舒服嘅時候，咁我哋點樣去超越呢一啲唔舒服嘅狀態，而去繼續修習咧？咁譬如就係有一個腫瘤啦，可能喺一啲淋巴位置，咁佢咧就喺呢個腹部位置，但係就擴散到或者係影響到個胃啦，然後就令到胃口下跌，就即係冇胃口食嘢啦。咁然後冇胃口食嘢就所以身體就變得好弱，同埋唔夠營養。咁喺咁嘅情況之下，究竟有一啲咩嘅技巧可以令到我哋超越咧
？This man is a great teacher. His name is Kampon.
咁熒幕上呢一位呢位男士啦，就係一個老師，一位好好嘅老師嚟嘅。
He was paralyzed due to accident.
咁但係佢喺一次意外中咧，就即係佢嘅身體咧就癱瘓咗，即係癱咗。
And finally died of liver cancer. I'm not sure.
咁最後係好似係死於呢個肝癌嘅， 但係師傅都唔係好肯定。
After the accident, he was in grief and sadness for many years.
咁喺嗰一次嘅意外之後咧，呢一位老師咧，佢係處於一個好悲傷嘅狀態，維持咗好多年。
He was giving advice from one of the 龍婆田 monk disciple.
Ajahn, you mean 龍婆田 disciple giving him the teacher advice?
Yes.
咁呢個龍婆田嘅師傅，龍婆田師傅啦，佢嘅弟子咧就俾咗一啲意見俾呢位老師參考。
He can move his hand only.
呢位老師當時只能夠喐佢隻手啫。
So he flipped his hand.
咁所以咧，佢就即係揮手咁樣喐佢隻手。
And finally, he free from suffering.
咁佢最後咧係能夠即係脫離呢啲嘅痛苦嘅。
He said flipping hand is like walking meditation.
咁即係好似喐呢隻手咧，其實對於佢嚟講就係好似一個行禪咁樣。
Be aware of body movement.
咁就好覺知到呢個身體嘅喐動。Ajahn, when you said free of suffering, do you mean this teacher is a Sotapanna or like awakened, enlightened?
He never said that. He said Sotapanna Arahant is just or Nibbana is just the wording. And he said, but the state of no suffering is real. He just insist on that. No suffering is real, is possible.
咁我啱啱就即係同師傅確認，究竟嗰個解脫痛苦嘅意思係咪話呢位老師證悟咗咁樣啦？咁但係師傅就話佢聽翻嚟咧就冇講呢啲字眼，就係話佢係證悟咗初果或者阿羅漢咁樣嘅。但係咧嗰個字眼就係話佢係真係能夠做到一個冇痛苦嘅狀態。
Another case is a fourth state cancer patient.
咁師傅亦都聽過另一個嘅個案啦，就係有個人佢有末期嘅癌症啦。
Whole life working, not learning Dhamma.
呢個人咧，呢位病人咧，成世人都係掛住工作，而冇學過任何佛法。
Then one day his wife invites a monk to visit him in the hospital.
咁有一日咧，呢位病人佢嘅妻子咧就邀請咗一位僧人就去醫院就探望呢個病人。
And the man complaining all the time that it's painful. I don't want to live anymore. It's so painful.
咁呢位病人就好理所當然地就不斷咁投訴啦，話好辛苦、好痛，經常都痛，佢唔想再活落去啦。
The monk asked him, I want to learn how much pain you have. So could you please squeeze my arm as strong as your pain? As strong as your pain to let me know how painful you are.
咁呢位僧人咧就問呢個病人咧，究竟你嘅痛係有幾痛咧？你可唔可以試下捏我隻手，係去模仿呢個痛？即係因為捏隻手嘅時候，咁嗰個僧人就會感覺到呢個痛啊嘛。咁佢就叫呢個病人去捏呢個僧人嘅手，咁睇下可以即係試下究竟係有幾痛嘅效果咧。
Man squeezed the arm of the monk for a while, and then the monk said, "Oh, enough! I know it's so painful. You squeeze so strongly."
咁呢個病人就真係照指示佢去捏呢個僧人嘅手啦。咁佢就好大力咁樣去捏啦，因為佢真係好痛。 咁然後嗰位真人就話：哦，好，夠啦，因為我真係知道你好痛啦。
But I feel that your squeezing is in rhythm. It means you're not pain all the time. Sometimes pain and sometimes not painful.
咁但係呢位真人咧就話：當我感覺你捏我嘅時候咧，我感覺到你嘅痛就唔係經常都係處於同一個程度喎，有時係痛啲，有時係冇咁痛嘅。
The patient said, the patient asked, really?
咁嗰個病人就問啊：係真嘅咩？真係咁樣嘅咩？
The monks told the patient, then start squeezing again.
咁呢位真人就叫個病人就再練多次啦。
After a few minutes, the patient cried out, "Oh, it's real. There are times, there are intervals that I'm not in pain."
咁呢位病人就照做啦。咁佢做完之後就即係幾分鐘之後啦，然後佢就真係發現，哦，原來真係咁樣嘅喎，係真係就算痛，但係有啲時候係比較痛，有啲時候係冇咁痛嘅喎。
The monk told the patient, "See, because your attention is only pain, so you focus only your pain. You put yourself into the stream of suffering all the time. There are times that you are not painful. You don't pay interest in it."
咁呢個真人就同個病人講啦：你之前見唔到呢個現象嘅原因就係因為你嘅注意力完全放晒喺個痛度，你完全俾呢個痛嘅感覺意識流咧就帶走晒。咁所以就算有唔痛嘅時候咧，你都冇去留意到佢唔痛嘅時候。
Then they discussed for about an hour. Then before the monk left, the monk asked the cancer patient to flip the hand. In this world, nothing else, just the moving palm left and right, up and down, up and down. Pain is pain. Doesn't matter. Just come back to feel the palm up and down, up and down.
咁呢位真人咧就喺醫院同呢個病人就即係傾咗1個鐘啦。咁就喺走之前咧就叫佢你試下即係喐隻手啦。咁淨係喐上下咁樣嘅啫。咁就將嗰個注意力就帶離開嗰個痛嗰度啦，就唔好擺喺隻手度啦。
After 1 month, the doctor of that patient called the monk and said, "Ajahn, the patient you visited last month died already, but his wife wants to talk to you again. She said something strange happened. Please come when you have time."
咁sorry，我頭先講錯咗，就係個注意力應該放喺即係放喺手度，唔好放喺隻痛度咁嘛。咁然後呢位病人咧就即係冇幾耐之後就過咗世啦。咁然後但係嗰個佢嘅妻子啦，就打去應該咁講，嗰個妻子咧就話有啲神奇嘅事就發生咗。咁然後即係個醫生就話翻俾呢個真人聽，就請嗰個真人去見佢嘅呢位太太。
So the wife told the monk after their meeting that it was very strange. Her husband used to complain a lot, but after meeting with the monk last month, her husband never complained again. Whole day, as long as he was not in sleeping, he flipping his palm, his hand up and down, up and down. Very quiet. The room normally filled up with bad atmosphere become very peaceful atmosphere.
咁 呢個太太咧就話翻俾個真人聽就佢嘅先生咧喺見呢位真人之前咧就係經常咁投訴，冇停過咁投訴，但係見完呢位真人之後咧佢就冇再投訴啦，佢淨係係咁即係舉手放低手，舉手放低手。咁正常嚟講，嗰間房咧係即係充滿呢個投訴嘅聲音嘅，但係自從嗰一次嘅見面之後咧，即係嗰間房都變咗好平靜咁樣。
And one morning, her husband asked the children to come up, and then the husband hugged the children and talked to the children for a while, and then the husband hugged his wife for a long time, and then back to sleep.
咁有一日啦，即係嗰個先生即係嗰位病人啦，就叫晒啲佢嘅子女過嚟啦，然後就同嗰啲子女就傾偈，咁傾咗一陣咧，然後又瞓翻覺啦。
She was cleaning the room and saw her husband flipping hand, and then she did other things and forget already until lunchtime.
咁呢位太太咧，亦都係見到佢先生就係喺度喐佢嘅手啦。咁即係而當時呢位太太係做緊清潔咁樣啦。咁但係佢呢位太太咧亦都冇問任何嘅問題。咁佢就係咁樣觀察值。咁然後佢就即係清潔完就走咗咁樣啦。
So she wanted to wake him up for lunch, but she found out that her husband passed away already. So she was surprised. How could her husband know the day that he will depart?
咁即係等，我問一問師父。Ajahn, you saying the husband was flipping the hand, but he has already died. But the hand.
Flipping the hand, yes. And then the wife did something else and did not see again, did not observe the husband again until lunchtime. So during on the lunchtime, she saw that her husband was sleeping. She wanted to wake him up for lunch, and she found out that her husband passed away already.
咁頭先講到即係呢位病人佢就即係同啲子女就傾偈啦。咁傾完咗之後就又繼續即係又瞓喺度咁樣喐佢嘅手啦。咁佢嘅太太亦都冇理佢。咁直至咧佢即係食飯時間啦，即係佢去入呢間房就諗住叫醒佢先生去食飯啦，但係佢就發現佢先生就已經離咗世啦。咁佢就即係好奇怪就點解佢先生會知道佢當日係要離去咧？而點解會即係會當日先至叫啲仔女嚟同佢傾偈？係咪佢知道佢即係大限就要到咧咁樣
？So mindfulness of the body helping a lot. Don't for the patient who have a lot of pain, then other part of the body has no pain. They can still be aware of the not painful part of the body.
所以師父想講咧，正念對於病人嚟講咧係好重要，因為就算身體上面有一個地方痛都好啦，佢都唔係所有地方都痛。咁你可以將嗰個注意力放喺一啲唔痛嘅地方。
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Let me remind everyone who is practicing this Zoom one-day retreat again that if you have a questions, that you can use the raise hands button, which is at the bottom of the screen, at the reactions smiling face. So if you want to raise your hands, and please use that button. 咁我再提醒一下大家啦，如果係有參加 Zoom 呢個一日禪嘅話咧，咁你現場有問題想問咧，咁可以利用喺熒幕下邊嗰個笑笑口嗰個鍵啦，咁你按落去之後咧，咁佢係會有一個舉手嘅按鈕嘅，咁如果你有問題，咁你可以利用嗰個嚟舉手。咁我暫時未見到有人舉手啦，咁我就再讀一啲問題嚇。So since I don't see any hands yet, so I'm going to read one more questions. So this is like Ajahn, since this is so difficult to drop self-identity view, does it mean that it's very difficult to attain Sotapanna, even when we have dropped rites and rituals and doubts?
咁有同修咧就問到因為頭先師父講到嗰個身見啦，係喺好多層次、好多方面都存在，咁似乎係好難去放下呢個身見啦。咁係咪代表亦都係好難先至能夠證初果咧？即係呢個入流果咧？咁就算即係因為初果有三個即係有三個要素，就係呢個身見啦、戒禁取見同埋呢個疑即係疑就係懷疑個疑啦。咁同修就問到，係咪就算嗰個戒禁取見同埋嗰個疑放下咗之後即係因為嗰個身見係咁難放下，所以都係好難能夠證到初果咧
？It's hard to say. It's easy or it's difficult. But if you don't, yep.
師父話咧，就係好難去咁樣講話，即係證唔初果係難定係易嘅。
But if you do not practice, then we will be in this cycle of birth and death forever. No way out. From human being can go down, can go up, but come back again, over and over.
咁師父就話雖然好難去講啦，但係如果你唔去收集嘅話咧，咁你就永遠都係處於一個輪迴嘅狀態，又要不斷咁受生死咁樣啦，或者係由呢個即係呢個界就去到一個比較高啲嘅境界，然後之後又落去一啲低啲嘅境界，咁來來回回，但係都係即係都係喺呢個輪迴入面。
Determination, mindfulness, and relaxation, very important. And another thing is, what is it? Have to be continuous. The practice has to be continuous practice. It means every day need to practice.
咁堅持啦、正念啦，同埋輕鬆嘅心啦，係好重要嘅。咁而且亦都要係日復一日不斷咁樣做。
Don't let your body disappear from your mind for a long time.
唔好俾呢個身體啦喺你嘅即係注意力裏面消失，即係要經常咁樣去覺察個身體。
Do not falling into the stream of like and disliking always. Always falling into that stream cannot progress.
咁亦都唔好成日跌入呢個喜歡同唔喜歡、中意同唔中意嘅呢個流入面啦，即係唔好咁樣隨波逐流。
Let the mind free like a child and observe.
即係嘗試令呢個心就返去一個好似細路仔咁嘅狀態，好純真嘅狀態，咁樣去觀察。
And put 5 precepts as the fence for your practice. You need a fence to protect yourself, not breaking 5 precepts.
咁以呢個5戒啦，就作為呢個好似欄杆咁樣去保護你。
If we practice now, the path will be shorter. If we do not practice now, the path we can't see the path if we do not practice. The moment we practice, the path appear and it will be shorter.
當你去收集嘅時候咧，嗰個修行嘅道咧就會顯現出嚟，而且亦都係會好似比較短。但係如果你唔去收集嘅時候咧，嗰個流就會變得好長，同埋會消失咗。
Someone the mind can go deep calmness. It's okay. No matter you can go deep calmness or not. The most important thing is mindfulness.
咁有啲人未必能夠去到一個好深嘅平靜狀態啦。咁其實都冇問題嘅，最重要就係你要有正念。
Okay.
So thank you, Ajahn. I see no hands yet, so I'm going to read the next questions. Should we be mindful of the body even during working and conversing with people?
有同修就問到做緊一啲生活上嘅例行嘅工作嘅時候，或者係同人傾偈嘅時候，係咪應該都要保持正念咧？
Yes, it depends.
師父就話係嘅，但係就要根據個情況去做。
If you work, your work have to use brain, have to use a lot of concentration, then cannot practice, just do your work.
如果你嘅工作咧係需要用好多嘅頭腦啦，要用好多嘅專注嘅話啦，咁你就即係去做工作就好啦，就唔好去諗呢啲咁嘅收集啦。
If you are accountant, do not practice while you are working.
如果你係一個會計師嘅話啦，咁你就唔好去去諗呢啲，即係嘗試去保持正念啦。你就就只不過係專注喺你嘅工作就足夠啦。
But accountant also need a break. You can feel your body while you break.
咁但係就算係會計師都好啦，你都需要有休息嘅時間。咁喺你休息嘅時間咧，你就可以去覺知身體。
But if your work does not related to does not need to use so much brain, yes, of course, you can feel yourself, body, mind, feelings, Dhamma can.
咁但係如果你嘅工作係唔係一啲需要用到好用腦嘅工作咧，咁當然就越正念就越好啦。咁你可以去用翻四念住，即係放嗰個專注喺嗰個身受心法呢四樣嘢度。
We normally lose ourselves into thinking.
我哋好多時都會喺呢個思考裏面迷失咗。
The moment we know we awake from our thought, that moment, we talk about moment by moment. That moment is good moment we practice already.
咁當你嗰個喺當下嘅一刻咧，見到呢個思考嘅時候咧，咁呢個已經係好好嘅啦。咁就係已經係算係一個收集嚟嘅。
See, we talking about moment, clinging on object. The moment before was defilement. Detachment from objects. The moment after is enlightenment.
咁正如即係好似阿六祖慧能所講啦，當你嗰個心意係執着喺嗰個對境或者係對象嘅時候咧，咁呢個就係煩惱啦。咁但係如果你離開呢個對象去覺知嘅話咧，咁呢個就係菩提啦。
Thank you, Ajahn, for the answer. There's another question. Is like you have explained what is the body inside the body, which was kind of like translations from the Pali words. But in the sutta, it's also mentioned the body outside the body. So is that also something, or like what's that mean? Please.
咁同修咧就問到咧因為頭先師父就講到呢個大念住經裏面就有講話身體裏面嘅身體啦。咁而師父講嘅佢嘅真實嘅意思咧，就只不過就係即係觀身如身咁嘅意思啫，即係唔好加嘢上去。但係同修亦都提到咧，佛陀亦都有講話呢個身體外面嘅身體。咁呢個又係點樣解咧？
When we see our body, not as I, as my, as Ajahn Ek, only the body. Then when we see other body as the body as well. External body, not as Mr. or Miss or whatever. It's as another body. Have hair, have the solid element, water element, fire element inside. It's not beautiful, no meaning of beauty, no meaning of ugliness or whatever, just the body.
咁當我哋係如實咁觀察身體嘅時候咧，我哋就唔會再有呢啲咁嘅標籤或者概念，就係話呢個身體係我啊，或者係某人咁樣啊。咁呢個就係所謂嘅如實觀照呢個身體啦。咁當你能夠咁做嘅時候，你對於其他人嘅身體亦都係有同樣嘅見解，就係其他人嘅身體亦都只不過係一個個嘅身體，佢哋唔係屬於某一個人，佢哋唔係某位師父，唔係某位同修，冇呢啲咁嘅概念。咁呢個就係師父對於呢個身外嘅身體嘅一個解釋。
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for the answer. So I'm going to read another one. Work nowadays require a lot of critical thinking and fault finding, which uses the judgment mind. How can we practice Dharma? Thanks, Ajahn.
有同修就問到喺當今嘅社會工作咧，就需要用到好多批判性嘅思考，甚至係一啲捉錯處嘅咁嘅類型嘅思考。咁我哋咁做嘅時候，即係如果我哋嘅工作係需要我哋咁做啦，咁我哋又點樣可以去收集佛法咧
？We live in this world. The world is the world. The world may need critical thinking, may need many things. That is the worldly matter.
咁我哋係生活喺呢個世界啦，咁世界就只不過係世界就係即係只不過就係世界啦，就係好似頭先講嘅觀身如身咁樣啦。咁我哋睇呢啲嘢咧，只不過係一啲世間嘅事務啫。
The world keep on changing. Today, the thought or the idea may be so good, but next day change. Even science also changed. Many years ago, egg yolk is prohibited as it's increased cholesterol level. Nowadays, the doctor said, "Oh, you can eat many eggs a day, no problem." Things keep on changing. So the world is just like that. Come and go and keep on changing. We have to come back and practice ourselves.
咁呢個世界本來就係不斷咁樣瞬息萬變咁樣噶啦。咁可能今日好嘅嘢咧，第二日就會變成壞。今日係好嘅一啲概念或者一啲最新潮嘅嘢咧，咁第二日就會變成一啲唔值得被欣賞嘅嘢。咁就算係科學都係，就係科學亦都係不斷咁有佢嘅變化啦。咁師父舉咗一個例子，就係譬如呢個蛋黃啦，以前啲人就話係唔好嘅，因為係高膽固醇，唔可以食咁多嘅。但係而家就係最新嘅講法，啲醫生又話係可以食嘅，可以食多啲咁樣嘅意思。
If some of you are on the position that need to help the society, need to help the world, do your best. But inside, we must not have suffering. We must practice mindfulness anyway.
咁喺呢個即係世間生活啦，我哋盡可能啦，就幫助呢個世界盡我哋嘅能力去幫助其他人啦。咁但係喺我哋嘅內心，我哋嘅內面咧，我哋係唔應該有痛苦嘅。
When we do charity work, when we work for the society, we also have to take care of ourselves. After working for the society, does our ego increase or decrease?
咁我哋係做一啲慈善工作嘅時候啦，即係或者係幫人嘅時候啦，我哋係亦都要去管理好自己，去照顧自己。咁師父就會即係鼓勵我哋問自己咧，究竟我哋做完呢啲咁嘅幫人嘅事之後咧，我哋嗰個自我或者呢個佛教術語就係我執啦，有冇變大到咧？
Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. So we have a hand here. So V, please ask your questions.
Good afternoon, Ajahn. Again, that's me. I'd like to ask in regards to when you mentioned about the four foundation of mindfulness, about feeling, contemplating, feeling as feeling, and it's not me, not mine, not I. What is the connection between this feeling in the four foundation of mindfulness as compared to the 12 dependent origination Vedana? How do I form the connection between this feeling and the 12 dependent origination? Thank you.
咁有同修就問到啦，呢個四念住裡面嘅觀受如受，即係頭先師父就係講咁樣解釋啦。呢個即係身體就唔好加嘢，感受亦都係如實咁觀照啦。咁呢一個四念住嘅收集同埋12因緣係有啲咩關係咧？
It's the same. Generally speaking, it is the same. It's the feeling, painful feeling, happy feeling, or whatever. It's the same feeling, liking, disliking of the feeling.
咁師父話其實都係即係係一樣嘅。嗰個重點係放喺嗰個喜歡同唔喜歡，對於感受嘅呢啲咁嘅貪同嗔。
The feeling we like, good feeling, we developed craving.
嗰啲即係愉悅嘅感受啦，就會帶嚟好多嘅貪啦。
Yeah. The feeling we like develop into two kind of craving, which is craving for sensual pleasure and craving for becoming.
咁而呢啲咁嘅對於愉悅感覺嘅感受嘅執着或者係貪啦，就會帶嚟兩種嘅愛啦。呢個就係講嘅有愛同埋欲愛啊。
The feeling we dislike is developed into craving for non-becoming vibhava tanha.
而嗰一啲即係對於感受上嘅親，即係唔喜歡啦，就會帶嚟另一種嘅愛，就係無有愛。
Yes.
I have further question, Ajahn. In respect of feeling, why is feeling, if it's feeling is so important, to cease the feeling, does that mean that it will cease in terms of Nirodha? And that why, if we are not aware, that means that if we are ignorant, how do we know that we are ignorant? Because avijja is always the first factor in the 12 dependent origination. So what causes avijja?
同修就問到即係其實係有幾方面啦。第一方面就係 如果嗰個感受係咁重要嘅話，究竟咁即係我哋修習係咪要為咗去滅除呢個感受咧？咁另一樣嘢就係同修運到嗰個無明啦，就係或者係愚痴啦。如果我哋係即係處於咁嘅狀態，即係如果一開始就已經係無明或者係愚痴嘅，咁點樣係會知道自己係無明或者係愚痴咧
That will go into a more detail in theory of dependent origination. I won't discuss much today, but the Buddha said asava or taints. Taints is another kind of deep, it's a kind of liquid that stay inside, not a real liquid, comparable, that stay deep inside the mind, that causing avijja. And the Buddha said avijja also is a cause of taints, asava. When a person enlightened, both of them will be uprooted.
咁師父話就係有得解嘅，咁但係佢就唔詳細喺度解啦。咁因為同修啱啱仲有問咧，就係究竟係如果無明係即係12因緣嘅開頭，咁究竟係乜嘢會帶嚟無明咧？咁師父就解釋咧，即係嗰個帶嚟無明嗰樣嘢就係所謂嘅漏啊。咁而漏呢個概念咧，其實就係用緊一個好似一啲液體啊、一啲水啊、流質嘅咁樣嘅概念，就係講我哋呢個即係心意上有呢個所謂嘅漏咧，咁即係好似一啲即係液體能夠即係唔能夠係唔能夠係放喺一個地方，但係會流去其他地方咁樣咧。咁呢一個所謂嘅漏咧，就係帶嚟無明，而亦都相反地咧，無明亦都係會帶嚟漏嘅。
Okay, thank you. I don't have further question. Thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have another question here. I'm reading it. Okay, so it's like is in our daily life, the mental energy seems limited. When the rat appears bigger, the cat gets smaller, and vice versa. Take a simple example. To prepare a meal for a few people, we have to think and to make plan. At that time, the rat appears bigger. How can the cat keep on growing strong no matter the rat is big or small?
咁有同修就問到啦，我哋嘅即係意識上嘅能量咧，就係非常之有限嘅，最少就係睇落係好似係咁啦。咁用翻師傅嘅比喻咧，就係嗰個老鼠佢越嚟越壯大嘅時候咧，嗰隻貓咧就越嚟越細。咁相反亦都係同一個道理啦。咁就譬如一個簡單嘅例子，我哋去準備一啲食物俾一啲人啦。咁我哋就要去計劃同埋去思考點樣準備。咁喺嗰一個時候咧，嗰個老鼠就好似變得好壯大咁樣啦。咁究竟點樣可以令到嗰個貓都一齊會變得更強大，而即係不論嗰個老鼠係有幾大都好，個貓都係會大過個老鼠咁樣咧。
Of course, we always have many rats that is much bigger than our cat.
咁師父話係好正常嘅，即係我哋嘅生命裏面啦，當然有好多呢啲咁嘅老鼠啦，即係喺呢個比喻就係念頭啦。好多呢啲咁嘅老鼠係好大過隻貓好多好多。
If you want your cat to be stronger, try to be aware of your rat.
Ajahn, can you repeat? If you want the
cat to be stronger, please try to be aware of your rat.
咁師傅就話：如果你想你隻貓去強大啲嘅話咧，咁你就係知道老鼠咯。
No way out。
其實係冇其他方法嘅，你只能夠去覺知念頭，亦都係即係我諗有啲類似比喻就係令到個貓捉多啲老鼠咧，咁佢就會比較強壯咯。
Don't worry, if you keep on practicing, one day your cat will be a super cat。
咁師傅就鼓勵大家啦，唔使擔心嘅，你隻貓只要不斷咁去練習去捉老鼠啦，咁你隻貓始終有一日會變到好強壯。
Keep on practicing。
要不斷咁樣收集。
Thank you, Ajahn. So I've read all the questions that I received so far, and no hands. So I think we've answered all the questions. Thank you very much.
So at the end, let's make a conclusion。
師傅想喺完結之前咧，就俾大家一個總結。
Daily practice is very important。
日常生活嘅修習咧係非常之重要嘅。
The practice of mindfulness is very important。
正念嘅修習係非常之重要嘅。
Remind yourself that knowing anything else, seeing anything else inside, outside, but try not to be it。
不斷提醒自己去覺知同埋觀察所有嘅對象，無論係外在嘅對象，抑或內在嘅對象都好，但係唔好成為呢個對象。
You may be father, mother, you may have children, you also have your own father and mother。
大家可能係本身係為人父母啦，咁你可能有自己仔女咧，或者可能係即係你自己亦都肯定係有自己嘅父母咁樣啦。
So perform your best duty, but in your practice, not being anything is just a relationships that come and go, come and go. Next life, depart again. We don't know who are we going to meet next life. This life we perform our duty the best, but be aware that not to be anything. It's just come and go element. The mind and the matter, both of them, is come and go and keep on changing by its nature, by karma。
咁師傅話我哋喺生活裏面應該盡量去盡力去負我哋嘅責任啦，盡我哋嘅責任去做事啦。咁但係喺我哋嘅內在，我哋唔應該去將自己係睇成為係任何嘅一啲呢啲咁嘅對象或者概念啦。即係師傅大約嘅意思就係我哋只不過係好似演好呢個角色咁樣啦，即係我哋去喺外在嘅環境裏面盡量做好我哋要做嘅嘢，但係我哋自己唔好去將自己認為我就係乜嘢乜嘢咁樣，我哋只不過係盡責任啫。
หลวงพ่อจำเนียน for example, when people come to see him, he say, "Oh, my daughter, come, daughter, come." So a lot of daughter. This group of daughter left, he forget already. New group of daughter, come. And he forget one group by one group. And then new group come. He perform his best duty, but no attachment to anyone.
咁師傅講到佢自己嘅師傅龍坡浸念佢 佢好多時就會即係會咁樣用咁嘅語言講，就係啲人去嚟探訪佢嘅時候女啊，即係好似個個都係佢嘅女咁啊！你即係大家好啊咁樣，但係即係好多人來來去去咁，佢都會叫呢啲咁嘅人做佢嘅女兒。咁但係其實佢一批人嚟咗之後，然後佢哋離開，然後有第二批人嚟，佢已經唔記得咗第一批人。咁即係個意思就係佢龍波贊練佢用咁樣嘅語言同埋用咁嘅手法去即係好似話係去盡佢嘅責任去呢個表演呢個角色咁樣啦，但係佢嘅心係放下，佢冇執着於喺呢啲咁嘅角色上面嘅。
And finally, I bless all of you to be successful in your practice and be happy in your life and be mindful every day.
咁最後啦，師父想喺呢度俾我哋一個祝福啦，就係希望我哋生活上成功啦，亦都開心啦，都係每日都帶住正念咁樣生活咁樣。
And receive blessing everybody in Pali.
咁而家師父咧就會念誦呢個巴利文嘅唱誦，咁就俾大家一個祝福。
Sappitiyo vivachantu sabbarokho vinasatu mate bhavatwantarayo sukhidikayuko bhava abhivadana silissa niccang uttapachayino cattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuwanno sukhang balang Awatu sabba mangkalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sovati bhavantu te Awatu sabba mangkalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sovati bhavantu te Awatu sabba mangkalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sangkhanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Be happy.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. I just received one last question. Can I ask you? So this time a friend said that, yeah, he really want to learn, like, he really want to follow more of Ajahn's teachings. So how can we get updates about these sections? And any website to visit, or how can we follow you more? Yeah, that's the question.
I don't know too. I don't have I don't have any website right now. There are activity like this, the teaching through Zoom with regularly with a group in Penang, Malaysia, and Hong Kong. This one is the second one. Otherwise, nothing much, and I do not have any website.
Okay, so Ajahn, you're currently in Thailand, and sometimes you receive visits, like you will teach visitors who go to visit your temple, yeah. And besides that, sometimes organizations, for example, this time like us, who will organize some Zoom online meetings, online teaching lessons with you, right? So besides that, you don't have any regular teaching schedule, which people in other countries, like in Hong Kong, Malaysia, like other country, can join. There's no regular teachings, no regular class, right?
No. Because right now because of the pandemic, so the activity is limited.
Okay, so yeah, we can communicate a bit later. So I don't know if you would like to consider some regular schedules with us later. Yeah, maybe
Let
later.
us discuss later.
Yeah, because yeah, it's we've learned a lot from you. Actually, it's also my question, so I would really like to ask these questions before we end this. So we will communicate a bit later. Okay, thank you very much. So before we end this Zoom one day retreat with Ajahn, let every one of us like a bow all together 3 times to Ajahn, please. Ajahn Vandana, Abhi Vandana. Ajahn Vandana, Abhi Vandana. Ajahn Vandana, Abhi Vandana.
Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu,
be happy, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
We
Pandey.
discuss and we'll see you next time.
Sadhu, 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 Ajahn. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Maybe
much.
you'll be well and happy. Thank you to the organizer as well. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.